I spent 3 months rewatching every single SpongeBob episode, and I noticed something strange. What if Patrick Star, the character we've all laughed at for being TV's ultimate idiot, isn't actually dumb at all? What if he's just pretending? It sounds ridiculous, but once you start paying attention, you see cracks in the act. Moments where Patrick slips, shows intelligence, and then quickly covers it up. And when you piece them together, a pattern starts to emerge. So today, let's dive into the conspiracy that Patrick Star might not be stupid. He might be the smartest, most manipulative character in Bikini Bottom. Patrick's first mask crack comes in Season 4's Squidtastic Voyage, when SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy are trapped inside Squidward's body in a miniature submarine. Yeah, it's a long story, but facing certain doom, Patrick suddenly blurts out a highly technical solution.
We could filter the CO2 through our ballast tanks, refire the engines, and ride the shockwave out of here.
Wow.
Sandy, a literal rocket scientist, confirms the plan will work. But then, seconds later, when praised for his brilliance, Patrick responds with blank confusion.
What plan?
This sequence plays like a brief lapse where Patrick's real intelligence slipped through. Then he immediately covers it up, pretending he doesn't remember saving everyone's lives. But then you realize Patrick wasn't just saving them, he was saving himself. Would a truly stupid person suddenly develop advanced engineering knowledge when their life depends on it? And later, in library cards, Patrick literally becomes a genius just by reading. His brain swells with knowledge until SpongeBob dumbs him down again with television. The message is clear. Patrick has the capacity to be brilliant. He just refuses to live that way.
But we can start to see a motivation in The Card, Season 6. In this episode, Patrick behaves so irresponsibly with a rare trading card that SpongeBob is driven crazy trying to protect it. The shocking part comes when Patrick, after wreaking havoc, tells SpongeBob,
You can't always expect my usual brand of stupidity. I like to mix it up. Keep you on your toes.
This infamous line floored fans. It sounds like Patrick is openly confessing that his stupidity is sometimes an act. The in-universe implication is that Patrick might be maliciously doing dumb things on purpose, just to mess with SpongeBob. Whether played for laughs or not, this is Exhibit A for the theory. Patrick knows he has a usual brand of stupidity, suggesting self-awareness and control over how dim he appears. Though Patrick Smartpants, Season 4, is a scenario of Patrick becoming a genius by accident. After an injury swaps his brain, Patrick turns into an intellectual powerhouse overnight. Think polite, logical, and extremely knowledgeable. He starts spouting trivia and solving complex problems. However, this comes at a cost. Patrick loses his goofy charm and, notably, can't enjoy the simple fun he used to share with SpongeBob. In fact, he grows lonely and depressed despite his high IQ. By episode's end, Patrick chooses to return to his old self. The brain coral pops off, so he can be happy and have fun again. Fans often interpret this as a hint at Patrick's true nature. Maybe he could be smarter, but being dumb is more blissful. One comment I saw in the episode summarized it well. With great intelligence came great sadness for Patrick, so he intentionally embraces stupidity to stay happy. In context of the conspiracy, it's poetic. Patrick might know that a simple mind equals a simple, joyful life. Why flex your genius when you can eat ice cream under a rock without a care in the world?
Then there are the quieter moments. In the secret box, Patrick guards a box and refuses to show SpongeBob what's inside, teasing that its contents would
change your life.
At one point, Patrick deflects.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma,
he says, while imagining a milk carton tipping over. It's a famous Patrick quote precisely because it sounds way deeper than his usual self. He even tells SpongeBob,
You may be an open book, SpongeBob, but I'm a bit more complicated than that.
Patrick wants SpongeBob to believe there's a lot going on upstairs that nobody knows. And indeed, at the episode's end, we learn Patrick's secret box contained a humiliating photo of SpongeBob, meaning Patrick successfully kept a secret leverage over his best friend the whole time. Cunning, no? In Driven to Tears, Patrick aces his boating exam on his first try, something SpongeBob has failed at for years. Either he's secretly skilled, or his luck borders on the supernatural. And in Rule of Dumb, Patrick wastes no time exploiting his royal lineage to steal from everyone around him. That isn't innocence, it's cunning opportunism. Even in throwaway episodes like Dumb, Patrick notices SpongeBob's jealousy over Gary and revels in it. He's not oblivious. He knows exactly what buttons he's pressing. So, why fake stupidity? If Patrick is secretly secretly intelligent, what's his motive?
Well, perhaps it's that Patrick is smart enough to realize that life is easier when everyone thinks you're stupid. By acting like a clueless layabout, Patrick avoids all adult responsibilities. He doesn't have to hold down a job. We only ever see him briefly attempt work, like at the Krusty Krab, and he usually screws it up on purpose. He can sponge off SpongeBob's hospitality without guilt because, hey, he's too dumb to know better, or so others believe. In a way, Patrick might have figured out how to game the Bikini Bottom system. Do nothing, contribute nothing, and still get by comfortably. Remember, he even received an award for doing nothing. That's basically society telling him, good job being useless. If that isn't positive reinforcement for staying in the dummy role, what is? Patrick could even be on Bikini Bottom welfare, as he has no income. So, how else does he afford endless Krabby Patties and ice cream? Essentially, he's found a way to live for free, and all he has to do is act incompetent. Ignorance is bliss. Another angle is the psychological one. Patrick chooses to be dumb because it makes him happier. The evidence from Patrick Smartpants supports this. When Patrick's intellect shot up, he became miserable and isolated. Once he went back to being an idiot, he was cheerful and had his friends back. Maybe Patrick learned at some point that being smart or introspective brought him sadness, or rejection from others, since most of his friends expect him to be fun-loving and goofy. By staying in the role of the happy-go-lucky dummy, Patrick maintains his friendships and his own sense of joy. It's almost a self-defense mechanism. The world is simpler and kinder when you're a fool. There's even a parallel in SpongeBob's universe. SpongeBob himself often acts childish and naive, which largely keeps him happy. Anytime he overthinks or grows up, he hates it. Patrick could have the same philosophy subconsciously. Play dumb, stay happy. One fan compared it to Homer Simpson purposely keeping himself dim. In The Simpsons, Homer had a crayon in his brain that, when removed, made him smart but unhappy, so he put it back in. Patrick's usual brand of stupidity might be his version of that crayon. It's how he copes with reality.